that day in history when the Allied armies joined together to reclaim this continent to liberty. For 4 long years, Europe has been under a terrible shadow. 3 nations have fallen, Jews cut out in the camps, and millions cut out for liberation. Europe was enslaved, and the world prayed for its rescue. Here in Normandy, the rescue began. Here the Allies stood and fought against tyranny in a giant undertaking unpropelled in human history. As their mission was one of most difficult, to climb these sheer and desolate cliffs and take out the enemy guns. The Allies were told that some of the mightiest of the guns were here and were trained on these beaches to help stop the Allied advance. The Rangers looked up and saw the enemy soldiers shooting down at them with machine guns and throwing grenades. The American Ranger began to climb. When one Ranger fell, another would take his place. When one rope was cut, a Ranger would grab another and begin his climb again. They climbed, shot back, and held their footing. Soon, one by one, the Rangers pulled themselves up over the top of these cliffs, seizing the firm land at the top. They began to seize back the continent of Europe. 225 came here that day, and after 2 days of fighting, only 90 could still bear arms. And behind me is a memorial that symbolizes the daggers that were thrust into these cliffs, and before me are the men who put them there. These are the men who took the cliffs. These are the champions who helped free a continent, and these are the heroes who helped end a war. 40 summers have passed since the battle you fought here. You were young that day you took these cliffs. Some of you were hardly more than boys with the deepest joys of life before you. But yet you risked it all. Why? Why did you do it? What impelled you to set aside the instinct for self-preservation and risk it all to take these cliffs? We look at you, and somehow we know. It was faith and belief. It was love and loyalty. The men of Normandy had faith that what they were doing was right. Faith that they fought for all of humanity, and faith that a just God would grant them mercy on this beachhead or the next. It was the deep knowledge, and pray God we haven't lost it, that there is a profound moral difference between the use of force to conquer and the use of force to liberate. You were here to liberate, not to conquer. And so you did not doubt your cause, and you were right not to doubt. You all knew that some things are worth dying for. One's country is worth dying for, and one's democracy is worth dying for, because it is the most deeply honorable form of government ever devised by man. You all loved liberty, and you were willing to fight tyranny, and you knew that the people of your country were behind you. The Americans who fought here that morning knew that word of the invasion was spreading back home through the darkness. They thought or felt in their hearts, though they could not have known, that in fact, in Georgia, they were filling the churches at 4 a.m., in Kansas, they were kneeling on their porches in prayer, and in Philadelphia, they were ringing the Liberty Bell. Something else helped the men of D-Day. Their rock-hard belief that Providence would have a great hand in the events that would unfold here, that God was an ally in this great cause. And so, the night before the invasion, Colonel Wolfton asked his parachute troops to kneel with him in prayer. He told them, "Do not bow your heads, but look up so you can see God and ask his blessing in what we are about to do." Also that night, General Matthew Ridgway, listening in the darkness for the promise that God made to Joshua, "I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee." These are the things that impelled them. These are the things that helped shape the unity of the Allies. When the war was over, there was a new peace to be assured. These were huge and daunting tasks, but the Allies summoned strength from the faith, belief, love, and loyalty of those who fell here. They rebuilt a new Europe together. Today, as of 40 years ago, our armies are here for one reason and one reason only: to protect and defend democracy. The only territories we hold are morals like this one, and graveyards where our heroes rest. Let us make a vow to our dead. Let us show them that we understand what they died for. Let our actions speak the words for which Matthew Ridgway listened: "I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee." Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Hi. How can we honor veterans and active members of the military? Let's take a look all the way back at the start, April 19th, 1775. The American military has evolved, starting in the Revolution. They were a ragtag group of men wondering, how can I make a difference? How can we turn the tide of this war and free our 13 colonies? Now, back then, soldiers had little money, food, clothing, weapons, and training, but slowly we've evolved, and now soldiers earn the respect they deserve and are cared for. But hard situations still hit, and now we come to the task of honoring these brave warriors, fighting to keep us free, fixing the holes in the foundation laid by our founding fathers and the countless lives lost. So how do we honor veterans and active members? Sometimes a veteran will wear a hat or uniform, sometimes they have a special license on their car. If you know anyone in the military or who have served, take a second to thank them. Ask stories that are comfortable to share, show our gratitude. Another step is ending homelessness of our veterans. It is vile that people who saved our lives have to waste away on the streets. We need more programs to help those leaving the service and coming home. Most often, this is a thankless job when these people deserve so much more than they get. I myself have members and veterans in that family. My Chico served in Afghanistan. My Uncle Bill also served and saved countless lives. And my close family friend Gary Simmons is a veteran. My great-grandfather was a soldier, and my Aunt Rhonda was in the military. It is an absolute honor to be related to these brave individuals, and you may be too. Some schools have children make cards for vets. You should look up times and maybe send them yourselves independently. In conclusion, the military is a noble pursuit, continuing the protection and assuring the safety of our wonderful, united, and free nation. On behalf of the American people, I say thank you for your service and sacrifices let us sleep without regret. To the Marines, Semper Fidelis. To the Army, De Oppresso Liber. To the Navy, Non sibi sed parte. And to the Coast Guard, Semper Paratus.